Hello and welcome to SEC Baseball Reaction. I am your host, Chris Lee, joined by Dylan Kelly. I think Graham Doty is going to join us shortly. Anyway, we are going to recap the weekend that was in SEC Baseball. We'll take your questions, your comments, your super chats. Full disclosure, this was the busiest weekend of my year. And so I got to follow it, but not with a laser eye on the TV like I would normally prepare for. So we're going to do our best. We did watch a lot and follow a lot between us, but and also we have the matter of the NCAA tournament this weekend on our channel. So anyway, that has taken a lot of resources from our team. Anyway, that said, we will do the best we can to get you up to date on what happened of note in the league this weekend. And boy, there was a lot of it. Before we do all that, reminder, we are brought to you by FanDuel. Anyway, all kinds of college baseball props over there right now, individual games, College World Series odds, all those things. Also brought to you by our friends at Home Field Apparel. They are the presenting sponsor of our baseball content. Dylan, did you get your stuff yet from Home Field?
I did. It's great.
Yeah, it is the best sports gear I have ever worn. If you don't have a sweatshirt, a t-shirt for your favorite team, get them, give them as gifts. I promise you, you will absolutely love them. Their stuff is high quality. I've been wearing it around 2 weeks. I think every day I'm wearing a Home Field Apparel shirt. Also wearing something from our friends at And Collar. We'll get to them a little bit later. But right off the top, boy, a lot of stuff happened in SEC baseball this weekend. We had a coach fired in the middle of the weekend. We had a no-hitter. We had the most high-profile series in Auburn, in one that did not disappoint in terms of how it played out competitively. We had a couple of sweeps. I mean, anytime SEC baseball teams get together, it's a really good league. There's always something to talk about. So we are going to do our best to unpack that all. Let's see. Welcome, J.R. Jones, new member here. We appreciate you guys doing that. I guess let's start off the top. I guess the biggest series of the weekend was Auburn and Texas. I thought those were the best two teams in the league coming into the weekend. I still don't know that I have changed my mind there. Auburn wins a wild Friday night game on a walk-off, just basically a misplay in center field.
Error, yeah.
Yeah. I was being kind there. But anyway, the Longhorns recover and win 2 games in Auburn. Not an easy place to win. So congrats to Texas. Have to imagine the Longhorns will remain number 1 in the power rankings. But I thought those were maybe the best 2 teams in the league. Wanted to see how they did when they went at it. And boy, again, that series was, I think, everything that you would hope for.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, the gentleman in center field makes the error, but also got him there with the 2 homers to take him there. So I think I tweeted on Friday night, I think he was pumping the crowd down like LeBron James. And I like a little charismatic attitude as well. And he unfortunately lets the ball go to where his glove. But in the long run, Texas comes back and rights the ship and takes a 2-1 in the Auburn Tigers' backyard. And first of all, let me just say, I feel like the 2 series, the first weekend had a great matchup. I think who was it? It was on national TV. Arkansas and
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State. That was great. Week 1, and then week 2 couldn't have been any better. Texas, Auburn, and then Auburn's fans, Butch Thompson, man, they just it's great for college baseball, right? Like, I know that they won the series, but man, this is week 2, and the whole parking lot's just absolutely filled. So as a fan, and I know you are as well, it's just good for the game, and it's good that they played well. And man, it was an interesting series. I know Auburn had some big opportunities with guys on base, and kind of what I saw at Missouri week 1, they could not, it was like one hit, and they were looking for the second and third kind of punches, and they just couldn't throw them. But they were more talented. This weekend, when you're playing at the same talented Texas team, I would say even playing field, starting pitcher, even on Friday night, Ruben Riojas, and then the lefty, Jake Marziato, where they needed offense, and it was a really good series for them.
Yeah, I mean, I thought to me, what I'm always going to go with in terms of why I like a series, I'm always going to look at starting pitching. I thought these teams, I'm not going to sit here and say that Auburn and Texas absolutely had the best rotations in the league, because I think Arkansas is probably the leader in that one, but there are a lot of really good ones. And those teams are, if you're going to have a thorough discussion, those are teams you're going to talk about. And I thought Texas got the best of that this weekend. Auburn's, guys were a little bit more mortal. Volantis didn't go long today. He just went 4. Luke Harrison gave Texas kind of a Luke Harrison start. And then Ruger Riojas, who is very squarely in that conversation of pitcher of the year in the league, was just terrific on Friday night, even though Texas lost that game.
Yeah, and I think so too. You're talking about starting pitching. I was talking about relief pitching now, where Auburn kind of poops their pants a little bit late in the game.
Yeah.
Like they bring Brewer in, he's been lights out, then walks the first, or he did something, then picks off, and it was just a nightmare inning where I turned it on YouTube, and I'm like, this is. He throws the ball away. The guy gets to third. They get the chopper. Third baseman slips. Guy scores, and it's like, oh, this is not good. And then it just it wasn't efficient. So I even texted a couple Auburn fans as well, or tweeted them, like it was good for him to see some adversity, and they got the win. That doesn't usually happen when a reliever feels and sees adversity. They usually take the loss, but he was able, and they were able to recover in that ninth, and obviously pull off the miracle win. I felt like, I mean, that was on Twitter. I think that was trending. It was a wild series and wild events there. Bases loaded. They pinch hit. They bring the kid in center to play the field, and then he comes up in the ninth with 2 outs, which is wild. So
yeah. Casey Borba has been really good for Texas, had a big home run this weekend. I mean,
right.
This team, I think, again, talking about complete teams, maybe it wasn't the best bullpen weekend for Texas, but it was still plenty good enough.
Right.
We talked about Robbins making the error in center, but he hit a couple of big bombs in that one. I mean, again, this team, I just look everywhere, and Texas has got all the ingredients to go as far as it wants to go in the postseason.
Totally. I agree. I don't think the power rankings are going to change, and especially on the road. First of all, let's just say this. As a player, former player, when you lose that game on Friday, it is so hard to get up on Saturday and do it again, and then do it again on Sunday. So a credit to them to win on the road is huge.
Boy, we got some big ones. We started with the biggest series of the weekend. I thought that was a good place to lead off, but like any other weekend, you could go Friday night no-hitter. We had one of those. You had a coach firing and a very dramatic shift in how the series went after said firing. But we're gonna go with excellence. I said, and look, I'm not great at picking stuff, but I looked at on paper. I thought Alabama, lost 3 really close ones last weekend in Lexington. Tough place to win. Kentucky's been playing extremely well. Was not down on Rob Vaughn's club. Tyler Fay has been hit and miss this year, and boy, did he connect on Friday night, because he goes out and throws a no-hitter. What was it, 130-something pitches? 132 against a Florida lineup that's got some real talent in it. And then we had a wild game today we'll get to. Alabama sweeps Florida. And really, I think, again, a lot of other weekends would have grabbed all the headlines, or maybe not all, but a lot of the headlines this weekend.
I think too. I think I even said it last week on our show. I still just didn't know what Rob Vaughn's club was. I feel like it was week 1, and they just, like you said, played Kentucky, and then like Kentucky had some guys banged up. Alabama came out flat. I know it's a tough place to play, but man, it was very lackluster. Where I was like, where is this hype, this juice? I get it. I mean, I picked Florida in our picks this weekend. I thought it's like college football. They say defense travels. Pitching's supposed to travel, and man, they were laboring out there against Rob Vaughn and Justin LeBron's squad out there in Tuscaloosa. Just it didn't look very clean. There's the picture of Sully going around looking like he's going to strangle somebody. And they just weren't efficient. And I know that that's frustrating to them because they usually do a couple things well all the time, and they did not pitch it well this weekend. It wasn't very clean, and it's what Alabama needed. They got 132 pitch Friday night, no hitter, which was awesome for them. Gives them the lift into Saturday. They play well again. And then today, a little bit of friction, traction, ruffle some feathers, little situation, not dust up. I'm not going to call it a dust up because it wasn't intentional on a breaking ball that hit LeBron. But man, Florida walked in there, feeling pretty good, and Alabama took 3 of them. So.
Well, I think, Faye, there are different kinds of no-hitters. You see occasionally somebody throws one that it's a, 4 strikeout job and balls are just getting hit at fielders. This one, he struck out 13.
Yeah.
That also saves your bullpen, which you're going to need for the rest of the weekend because this is SEC baseball. You especially needed that when Miles Upchurch only got 1 out today. Did you catch any of that one today?
I didn't catch.
I turned it on
late today.
Yeah. I turned it on, and it was 4-0 at that point, Florida. It was the 5th inning, and LeBron hit a 2-run home run to finally get Alabama on the board. Had to go out and run some errands, come back and see the score. And holy Batman, Florida's bullpen just imploded. They gave up, 13 runs?
Yeah.
14 runs. 13 runs. Cooper Walls, who'd kind of been the weak link of that rotation, gave him 4 1/3 pretty good innings. You'll take that in the SEC.
Totally.
And then Ernesto Lugo Canchola, who's been their best guy, just kind of lit the match to start that whole thing.
Yeah, and then that's when you see the picture of Sully looking like he's going to pull someone's hair out because that's their bread and butter. And when it's not bread and butter, it's very, very pedestrian or average, however you would like to say it. So kudos to Alabama and Rob Vaughn kind of putting their stake in the ground and saying, hey, I think we know what we could do and who we are. We just need to prove it. And anytime you get more than 2 wins on a weekend is astronomical.
Well, and Justin LeBron was kind of a targeted man this weekend too.
Mm-hmm. I think he'll be targeted the rest of the year too. He's very talented. Kids are taking it personal that they think they could get him out. And I understand. I'm not saying Florida was egging it on, but they weren't looking the other way, as I would say.
I'm going to give you maybe your SEC player of the week. I think Alabama's going to sweep it because Faye is obviously going to get pitcher of the week.
Okay.
Brady Neal knocked in 11 runs this weekend.
What position does he play?
He's their catcher. Remember, he was the guy that started at LSU. He's now a senior. He transferred out last year. Brady Neal was a very, very highly regarded prospect for the draft of what would it have been, 22? I think a top 200 guy in the draft that year. Came to LSU. I think I can't remember if he was a starter for LSU 2 years ago, but just it did not pan out the way everybody thought Brady Neal's career was going to pan out.
Right.
And he went to Alabama last year, didn't go well. I think he was still maybe a draftable prospect. You know how this goes. Like if you really wanted to get out of college and I'm sure somebody would have signed him for $50,000 and gotten on with it. He came back for another year, and I think he hit about $170 last year. It just did not go his way. He has been just really having a great offensive year. And I thought, okay, is this going to be one of those things where once we get to conference play, it's going to cool off? No, he's hit even better. So hats off to Brady Neal, man.
You got some of those stat lines? Because I did tune in and one of the kids had 4 hits.
Yeah. Well, let's see. On
Friday.
Today Neal goes 2 for 7, drove in 7, walked 1. Okay. Friday, let's see. Saturday, he went 3 for 5, knocked in 3.
That's right.
And then Friday night's game, he goes 2 for 3, knocks in a run, and walks twice.
Well, that might be your SEC player of the week. That's definitely him.
Well, and let's see, he played in right, and okay, it looks like he's in right field now. So they've got John Lim, the transfer from Southern Illinois, who's doing most of their catching now. Maybe that's what you need.
Yeah,
That's a
seriously.
load off your mind, right?
I can't. Yeah, I feel like who's the last guy to do that? I mean, you could always go back to Rick Ankiel where he was pitching and then like got
Yeah.
the yips and then they moved him to center and he's an all-star. But yeah, definitely move some guys around. Definitely takes a lot, and everybody thinks that they could play every position because they did it in high school. Then you start catching, and I will say that's. I'm a firm believer either you could do it or you can't. There's not a lot of teaching to it. Like, hey, I could teach you to catch, but it's when the bullets start flying. I don't know if you can. So good for
Yeah.
Rob Vaughn picking him up and getting that bat in the lineup and moving him to right field. Maybe he just feels comfortable. Good for him.
Yeah. All right. Our buddy Wes is in the chat. So good time to talk about Oklahoma LSU.
Here we go.
And boy, if you're LSU, and you're Oklahoma, this is kind of starting out as a nightmare for Oklahoma and for LSU. This is kind of like, okay, this is the ball club we've been waiting to have show up, because Casey Evans is electric on Friday night after not being good against Vanderbilt last Friday. He goes 7 2/3, strikes out 15, throws 110 pitches. Poor Cam Johnson just had a meltdown in his old stomping grounds, walked 6 in an inning and a third. I think he's walked 13
Yeah.
in I don't know, 3+ innings the last 2 weeks. You hate to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Xander Mercurius, LJ's brother, kept them in the ball game. Otherwise, but anyway, you just weren't going to hit Case and Evans. They got Cowan to come in and kind of mop up, and you're thinking, okay, this may be the moment LSU kind of flips the switch after winning that game 3 at Vandy last week. Didn't happen that way. Cooper Moore had to come out after 1 pitch in the 5th inning. He didn't look great when I saw him last week, and he'd been so good for them the first few weeks. Meanwhile, LJ Mercurius just basically shoves, gives up 2 5 1/3, and Oklahoma takes that one 4-2. And then it didn't make LSU feel any better today, I'm sure, when William Schmidt needed 90 pitches to go 4 innings. Gavin Guidry blew it again in the bullpen in a big spot. He's just been awful lately, which I hate it for him too. He'd come back. It was a great story, was just really shoving the first month of the year. And OU gets that one 4-3. Cord Rager wasn't great, but the bullpen, which had leaked a little bit lately, was terrific. Led by Jackson Cleveland at the end, which is like the most presidential name in the SEC, I think. But congrats to Oklahoma. I thought Oklahoma could come in there and with the style of play, give LSU some problems. I did pick OU in that one for that reason, and that's how it panned out.
Yeah, and I think I know Wes is going to probably chirp me a little bit here, but Cam Johnson has not been bueno, and that is, let me just tell you, there is nothing worse than your Friday night guy out there throwing grenades. And as a catcher, it sucks. I'm playing hockey goalie. You're not giving us any length, and we're already down 5 at their place, and I don't know what's coming. So, man, I can't tell you how important it is to get off to a good start, like for a Friday night guy or Thursday night guy. He has not been quality these last couple starts. Does that mean I'm going to give up on him? No, but I think he needs to literally just get back to pumping strikes. And I think that they'll make a couple adjustments, but man, after a rough Friday night, they come back and win 2 grindy games where I feel like I was watching. Somebody had the live stream on YouTube. I probably shouldn't say that. Shout out YouTube, but I was able to watch a lot of that. I mean, OU's at bats were foul ball, foul ball, hard contact, double. Trey Gamble had one too, where he gives you a professional at bat. Jackson Willits gives you one. I mean, they got the backup catcher playing first base. It was just the team that I had thought, especially with LSU struggling, and then OU walks in. They don't have 12,000 5-stars, but man, do they wear you down. And there's not like a break in the lineup for you to like take a deep breath. So, and they do what they do, man. They just play clean, fundamental baseball. I know that they had a couple errors, but they didn't have 7 errors. I expect some of these college kids to make errors, especially going from turf to dirt to turf to dirt. I would like Cam Johnson to get back on the horse here. So,
Hey, you were talking about them fouling off pitches in a 4-3 game today. LSU threw 205 pitches. I'm sorry, I guess that was yesterday. Game 3 was yesterday.
Okay, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I just the complimentary baseball, man. I think I've said this from the beginning where there is not a breath in that lineup too. And I'll say this: I think that my tweet that I obviously tweeted on X this weekend. I'm watching Friday afternoon, Saturday. I can't remember. LSU's righty is throwing 3-2 breaking balls, and they're not even close. And this kid's throwing 95, 96, and I'm like, man, they're not playing well, and it's just like, can we pump strikes in this league? I've never seen it so breaking ball heavy. I don't know. I just didn't really – that had left a sour taste in my mouth. But compliments to OU, Skip Johnson, and the fellas, as they always do, roll into town and just play quality baseball.
Let's see. Let's go to Arkansas next. Arkansas, South Carolina, because again, that just one of the most bizarre series that you will see. Arkansas wins that one Friday 22-6. Talk that South Carolina's just quit. And again, just the one weird post-weekend comment after another, or sometimes mid-weekend comment from Paul Mainieri. You just had to think, okay, I just don't think this is gonna last very long. And sure enough, it didn't. It didn't even last till game time Saturday. If you didn't catch it, Paul Mainieri, South Carolina coach, fired during the weekend. And South Carolina comes out, loses a 1-run game and gets one 9-4 today. In just a weird week. And I mean, we've seen a lot of SEC baseball. I don't think we've ever seen that happen where a coach gets fired mid-series.
Yeah, and I haven't either. And I think I texted one of my buddies that is a former South Carolina Gamecock. I just said, man, Paul Mainieri's he's got to be relieved. He's got to be relieved because that was a nightmare. And I said this on air week 1 of Missouri, Auburn, man. Like, Paul Mainieri's one of the GOATs in this league. He is. Yeah. And, I mean, he's got the most – I think he's top 3 in wins. Quote me on that. And at LSU, they were an absolute wagon. So when he took the job, I was kind of like, is this going to be great? Uh-huh. And then the whole state of South Carolina transferred to him. I mean, they're getting absolutely blitzed on Friday night. And yeah, that interview post game, I was like, man, he's checked out. They're checked out. There probably wasn't a lot of connection. Not going to speculate. It wasn't a good fit. I'm glad that they broke it off, and I'm glad that they played a little bit better this weekend, and they had a chance. I mean, they were an out away from winning 2 or 3. So, I mean, the throw from the shortstop really hurt them there, as you would have figured that was as routine as it could have gotten, and Arkansas is able to tread water and get 2.
Yeah, I mean, I said before the series, don't be surprised if this is not as easy for Arkansas as it feels like it should be. Because, again, Carolina had pitched, cannot hit, but Arkansas would like a word in that discussion, too, with the way their bats have gone at times. And that's kind of how it panned out. We didn't know that the match it would like to fire would be a firing of a coach. But, I mean, if you're Carolina, look up, and not to take anything away from Arkansas, let's not forget they won the series. But Colin Fisher, who was untouchable, 2 weeks ago, when he darn near threw a perfect game, got hit, I think, the hardest he's been hit all year. And they just got to pretty much everybody in that bullpen today, but Tate McGuire. They finally put Brandon Stone in the Sunday starters role, which I kind of wondered why they hadn't done that. I thought he was one of their best 3 starting pitchers. He did Brandon Stone things today, goes 5 1/3, gives up 2 earned runs, walks 2, and the rest of the bullpen, which has been okay at times. The guys they threw have got some talent. They were able to close it out. I think for Arkansas, let's not forget they won the series. Starting with that bludgeoning on Friday night, though, where the offense just exploded in a way it has not exploded all year. Carolina did have a couple errors, but Arkansas had 14 hits, 12 walks, and let's see how many hit batsmen in that one. 3 more. So it was just a pitching mess with Josh Gunther, their best arm, just all over the place. And also some of the better parts of their bullpen didn't do great either. But Gabe Gackle was okay, good enough. The rest of their bullpen didn't need to do much. They threw guys they didn't throw often the rest of the year. And Hunter Dietz was great again. He goes 6 2/3, strikes out 12 with Gibbler piggybacking off him. They've kind of used Gibbler to piggyback off Gackle on Fridays, but switched it up a little bit. Didn't need him, obviously. In fact, that's probably what won Arkansas the series. If it doesn't go the way it does Friday night, you probably blow Cole Gibbler in that spot. He's not available in a tight game on Saturday. It looks a little different, but that's kind of how baseball goes.
Yeah, I know Arkansas is a good team. That's just such a weird. It's hard to even comment on with what's going on. I think the tweet it was like this is going to be a long rest of the year, and then South Carolina comes out like they're the '95 Braves today. So
Yeah,
I'm a little confused. I'm going to need to see more. Just an absolute coaching carousel there as well. They've had a bunch. They've had some really good ones in the past. I mean, this is South Carolina. I grew up at a junior college, aspiring to even go to that college.
uh-huh.
I mean, back to back for the Garnet and Black is cemented in my head as one of the greatest calls I've ever heard. Where this is no offense to them. I mean, they had obviously some big leaguers on that team, but just a bunch of guys that just loved each other and played really well and won back-to-back national championships. So hopefully they'll get it figured out. I think the Band-Aid needed to be ripped off for Mainieri. I hope that he goes to his retirement home in Florida. Not his retirement home, his like beach house in Florida. And just hangs out because, man, he's done all he needs. He's proved everything he's needed to prove in the SEC, and that was long before he took this job. So it seems like a little bit of a messy breakup, but it needed to happen.
Yeah. Monty Lee getting the job on an interim basis. I mean, Monty Lee's coached a lot of baseball. This is a place where resources have kind of been in question in terms of just like where are they going, because I think women's basketball disproportionately takes a lot of resources at South Carolina, probably compared to every other school in the league, and that's fine if that's what they want to do. It's their choice. But baseball has been struggling. Monty Lee's coached a lot of ball. Of course, was the head coach at Clemson for several years. I do wonder, do you give it a shot? And if it works, if he gets you to, the doorstep of an NCAA tournament, you could do a lot worse, I think.
Yeah, and I think the same thing too. I know that he was at Clemson. That right up the road, or south, north, whatever, they're close, obviously. It's just it's a weird dynamic. He's the best part about this, sort of like same thing last year with Mississippi State. Justin Parker steps in and has to coach as they're rolling. So and then they ended up being just fine. So it's one of those situations where like, hey, has it happened often? No, but has it happened before? Yes. And it'll be interesting. You're right, Seeley. He has coached a lot of ball. Let's just let's let that sleeping dog lay, and then let's check back in on them in a couple weeks because I don't know what they are. I mean, they got a good club. They got a bunch of transfers, but they seem to rally today. So let's see how the midweek goes and keep an eye on them.
Where would you like to go next? I picked the first three.
Let's go to the Missouri series. Obviously, an alum, so let's talk about that one. I was happy.
Hey, Missouri's first, I guess, road test in a big environment. Missouri's been on the road a lot just because of the way it set the schedule up in Florida, but nothing like going to Knoxville. Missouri was very competitive, takes a game there. You run into Tennessee's pitching, which is going to be awfully tough to beat. That probably was the difference in the series. What did you make of what you saw in Knoxville?
Yeah, I thought obviously Friday night was very clean by Missouri. They did exactly what they needed to do, and those are against some top tier arms from the Tennessee Volunteers. I was happy that they are starting to feel like they're getting their recipe for success. But then when you look at the depth of Tennessee, no wonder they win on Saturday and Sunday. So they've kind of righted the ship as well. Boom, boom, boom. And now they're doing their thing on Saturday, Sunday, throwing rocket balls, hitting homers. So, I mean, it's kind of what I expected. I'm just, you could start to see some of the Missouri wheels turning, which is good because, man, even today, Brady Killenbrink for them, the Sunday
Yeah.
lefty, gave him another good chance. I mean, 4-1 on a Sunday at that place where the wind is blowing and any homer gets out with a little kiss on the backside of it. But other than that, man, I was happy. And the McDivitt kid gave him a quality, wonky, not his cleanest start from the week before, but it's Tennessee's darn good, man. They have good defense. They got good pitching. They know they know their recipe. I was happy to see Missouri get one on the road. You know how hard that is to get one, especially when you're facing some of these big dogs.
Yeah, I guess my takeaways again, you got durability out of your starters. If you're Missouri, seeing Missouri have a guy go 6 complete on Sunday or 6 whole innings, that's just not something we've seen in a while,
Right.
and throw pretty well. So there was that. I think this is probably the most improved team in the league over a year ago. I think to me the story of the series was Tennessee's pitching, and I got taken to task. I said I still think with Tennessee's pitching, this could be a regional hosting caliber team. Some people had issues with that. My point was, I think the way that they pitch, they are good enough to host a regional. I think they'll end up hitting a little bit better. They don't have to hit a lot with the way they pitch. We know how good Landon Mack is, but I think the guy that I just keep seeing every weekend just coming in and shutting everybody down is Cam Appenzeller, who was a midweek guy at the first of the year. They moved him to the pen. He's kind of become a long man. He goes 4 2/3, doesn't give up a run, strikes out 7. The rest of their bullpen's gotten a little bit better. Their starters are all durable. Blanco gave them 7 2/3 in his start. Braden Krenzel, who struggled early, has pitched better. Tennessee's got a lot of guys who can throw a lot of innings. They probably got a top 7 or 8 guys who can really, really give you multiple effective innings at a time. And I think Tennessee's kind of gotten lost, in all the hype about losing Tony Vitello. And, you lose a series to Kent State. You lose a game to Wright State. You're not hitting the ball. That pitching's been solid pretty much the whole way. And now that they're a little bit more whole defensively with some of the guys coming back, I still think it's potentially a very, very good team.
And I agree with you too, Chris. I mean, that pitching is what they're going to ride. Even Josh Elander said that on the press conference on Friday. We just didn't come up with enough hits, and I think that'll be their not kryptonite. You could say that's going to be everybody in this league's kryptonite is not enough hitting with some of these arms that are rolling out here. But you got to get them when you can get them, and I think Missouri getting the one game is what they were looking for. And we're still competitive. But, man, Tennessee, please don't be fooled when they roll into town. I mean, let's look at this. They've all 4. They could have had one more last week with the homer robbed at the wall. I mean,
yeah,
they got a good team. And I like the way that they played. I thought that was a very competitive series.
Well, and Levi Clark is just not giving him much. They got a home run out of him this weekend. Mm-hmm. So that's a positive. Maybe you get him going. I think that the hitting is going to get better. The pitching, again, I just like the way that they can cover so many innings on the weekend and very competitive series. But I'm sure Knoxville was in a little bit of a panic after getting beat by Missouri on Friday night, but it ended up being okay in the end. So I'll let you pick the next series. Where would you like to go next?
Let's go right to your backyard. Let's go to the old Mississippi State versus Vanderbilt.
Yeah, let's get that one in a minute. Before we get there, let's pay a couple of bills here. Starting with our friends at Rockform, which they make the world's strongest magnetic phone case. It is super durable. I've got the vent clip. I've got the case. It is just a wonderful setup for driving. They make golf accessories, other phone accessories. Go to SEC25 with your discount code at rockform.com. That gets you 25% off your entire order. You will love their stuff as we do. Hey, Sam noticed I'm wearing a polo tonight. Went out for my dad's birthday. Happy birthday to my dad. I don't think.
How old's your dad?
My dad is 83,
nice.
And it'll be his first. It's his first birthday without my mom, who we lost into September. She was a week younger than Dad, and gonna be a tough one.
Where'd you guys go?
This week. We went to Cracker Barrel.
That's
right up Dad's alley.
baby.
So yeah. Not a sponsor of the show.
Better.
Do like their food, but yeah, we took that out. So I'm like, I'm going to dress it up just a little bit. So we did that. And when you're going to do that, you go to our friends at Collar, because where else are you going to go? I mean, my goodness, they make fantastic stuff. You've heard me talk about, every Sunday I'm wearing their stuff to church. I'm wearing their stuff to nice events. Their stuff is wrinkle free. It's super comfortable. Looks great. It fits great. Stain resistant, all those things. You would love it if you paid retail price, but you're not going to have to pay retail price, because you're going to use promo code SEC16 at andcollar.com. That will get you 16% off your entire order at Collar. And you'll thank us for that, as you will for Icon Wallets. They are expanding their selection of SEC wallets, so that should be coming your way soon. I've got an Icon wallet, and I love my new one. It holds all the stuff my old one did, holds it much better, easier to get to, looks better. It's a winner all the way around, and you're going to be an even bigger winner when you go to icon-wallets.com, use promo code SEC16, and get 20% off your entire order. 3 great partners for us here, and got another one. Our man Graham's been waiting backstage. I'm going to bring him in. Hello, Graham Doty.
Hey.
Sorry, I should have given you a heads up.
Fresh off an airplane, baby.
Yeah, well, I'm going to put in my Zilker belts order. Going to do that very soon. I know you've gotten some stuff. We've got, the dog leash is going to be ordered. They got hats.
Hey, look at Dylan. He's got
They got belts. All kinds of stuff at Zilker Belts. Tell people a bit about them.
They are based deep in the heart of Texas. I feel like we need a clap when we say that. Austin, Texas. 2 SEC grads. Florida, Texas. Wade and Ford, they're great guys. They make great products. Belts. Dylan, did your belt come in?
I did. It's wonderful. I got the Johnny Cash all black, baby.
There you go. That's a popular one. Yeah, mine came in while I've been in the Midwest. So I'm excited to go home and or get home and then look at all the stuff that we got. So what do you need to know about them? They got different colors, different styles, bolo ties, belts. They make wallets, man. They make dog collars, dog leashes, anything and everything you can think of. Whatever your favorite team is, they got the colors. So check them out, zilkerbelts.com.
Yeah. Welcome in, man. So you were in Minneapolis today?
Yes. And let me tell you guys, I don't know how people in the Midwest do it weather-wise. I am not a guy that gets impacted by allergies. When we got there, it was 1 degree. The next day, it was 75. Today, it's in the 20s. And it's just like my
Wait,
face.
What?
Yes.
Did I hear that right? It went from 1 to 75 back to 20 something?
Yes. And it's like I got so much pressure on my face right now. My body's like, what did you just do? So just walking around downtown Minneapolis, there's snow everywhere. And it's just, I've never been anywhere where the weather has been that drastic one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to have a cold in about 2 days, aren't you?
Well, I also have a 1-year-old that's in daycare. So that's a good.
You're definitely going to have a cold.
If you look at the odds of FanDuel, like that's like, plus.
Sam is pointing out the obvious. We got a real intellectual on the show finally, and you have apparently saved the stream. According to Sam.
This is called work ethic, Sam. You see it.
Yeah. Well, Vanderbilt's
Dr. Lee. Sam, you got to slow down with some of these tweets or these
Dr. Lee
chats.
Not a doctor. Do not play one on TV. But
you did stay at Holiday Inn.
But it did stay at a Holiday Inn. Vanderbilt might need a doctoral course in throwing strikes, because that undid them again this weekend.
Randy
lost what I thought was a brutally tough Mississippi State matchup. Vanderbilt did not get any more arms healthy. State did what it did, pitched pretty well. The bullpen was kind of a problem, which has been their weaker link. Vanderbilt got to on Sunday, but didn't matter because State just kept hitting and hitting and hitting. I guess your big concern out of the weekend is Ryan McPherson, who left his starts, I think, after 4 innings on Saturday night in a 4-2 win. So keep an eye on that one.
Are you surprised this is State's first sweep over Vandy since 2000?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like there should have been one in there somewhere, but Vanderbilt's had their number some years.
Yeah, well, they probably also didn't play each other every year too. But when I saw that stat, I was like, man, it's been a minute, almost 30 years since that's happened. Caught a little bit of this series. Really, I didn't watch this one as much as the other ones because I kind of feel like we all knew the outcome of what this one was going to be. And it was just a giant party for Mississippi State. They set the program record for largest attendance for a Friday night game, and then they just set more records over the course of the weekend. And the stat that's going around the Magnolia State, the top 25 crowds in the history of the game in college baseball, Mississippi State has all top 25. Hey, quit. All of them. They got the largest 25 crowds in the history of college baseball.
Gosh, that's crazy.
All of them. And honestly, if they expanded Duty Noble to 18,000, which they could, they would fill it. Maybe even 20 on a monster weekend.
Yeah. Our friend Hunter, one of our better Mississippi State fans, said time to talk about which way. There's 2 different pronunciations depending on which brother you are. The pitcher was great again this weekend. Hunter puts the numbers in front of us, what he's done in 2 starts. One of them is Valencius, and I can't remember how the other one says it, but they pronounce them differently.
I'm going to pull it up on the notes, but also, how does that, if you're brothers and you have the same last name, how does that work?
Yeah, well, they pronounce them differently. I guess it's their call. And Hunter says McPherson had an MRI today, so yeah, let's hope that checks out okay.
Yes, we don't need more pitchers from the state of Mississippi to get hurt and miss time.
No. We had some injuries this weekend. I'm not sure we got to all of them yet either, by the way.
Yeah, come on, Dr. Lee, give it to us.
Well, that reminds me, did you tell me that Lawson left the game for Florida?
He did, and Wes has him in the chat. I forgot about this one. Cooper Moore for LSU is another one.
We did mention that one earlier. He had I think they said he had a triceps discomfort and left the game immediately with an oh no look on his face from the way it was written up. So not a great weekend in that.
Jeez Louise. Okay, the Tomas Valinkis.
Okay.
Then they have Valencius.
Yeah, we frown upon these things. It makes our job tougher.
Correct.
To me, that'd just be like if Dylan was like, by the way, guys, I go by Fred.
I called it Keeley.
That's exactly right. That's right. You're exactly right.
Anyway, State, that was a tough opening draw at Arkansas, a place where they never win and not a lot of people win. But I thought State answered the bell pretty well this weekend.
Lee, tell our viewership, what's the mood like with Corbin? I know you guys are obviously buzzing around. He's a mental guy as well, as in he prides his team and the mental toughness. When you're consecutively taking punches like this to the chest, and where's he at?
Well, I didn't check press conferences or social media today. I mean, he can't be in a great mood. They don't have the horses to pitch. Again, if they get back Austin Nye, who I think they thought they were going to have this weekend, and they didn't have him. If they get back Aiden Stillman, it's going to, or Miller Green, it's going to look a lot different, or England Bryan, or any one of the 5 or 6 guys they've got out that would pitch a ton of innings for them. We said this in the preview. I think about half if they had a normal, healthy staff, you would pretty much shave off the bottom half of the bad pitching.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they had their guys and they were healthy and they pitched the way they can, it would look completely different, because they're throwing guys out there that just have no business pitching on the weekends right now because they don't have another choice.
Right.
Dylan, were you asking just about this weekend in general, or just the temperature of his seat?
No, not the seat. I know he's solidified in that role, and he is the right guy for that program. Always has been, always will be. I'm asking, man. Like, you know how this is. It's a game of failure, and man, I don't remember a last time Vanderbilt's ever been
No.
this brutal.
Yeah,
And I
this is
didn't
the
think
worst
that they were
pitching
gonna.
staff he's ever had.
Yeah, correct.
Hands down. Yeah.
And I didn't think that he was gonna win 2 or 3 this weekend, but these games aren't close. And,
No.
yeah.
I
that's
mean,
tough.
again, you reshuffle the deck, you have some pieces that are workable. I just think Fennell on a Friday night, it's just a horrible fit, and it all starts there.
Yeah.
And it just gets worse throughout the weekend.
Totally.
There's nothing they can do until they get guys healthy.
They need somebody. And that's the thing,
late.
too. Nobody has stepped up at all. Like, not one guy that's, like, giving them above, like, 130. I'm not asking for 132 pitch, complete game no hitter, but somebody give them 7 innings. Somebody grind through something.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're older guys who are taking the bigger bulk of the role now, or just wetting the bed every week. Other than like Brendan Cyber, who's pitched pretty well. But anyway, they've got to get well quick, and their hitters just continue to press with guys in scoring position.
I just felt like they weren't really competitive in this series.
Yeah, no, they weren't. They're not really at any point. Hunter asked, how long are they from Corbin retiring? I would probably say, not based on information, probably 2 or 3 years is my guess.
What do you think he retires, or do you think he goes somewhere else first?
Oh, I mean, he's what, mid-60s, early 60s. I mean, I think what he does is I think he ends up, Nashville's trying to get Major League Baseball. Probably going to be, I don't know, 2030 or so before we get it. I think he'll be heavily involved in that. If you just say, what's his next move, I'm going to bet it's that.
That man has earned the right to do whatever he wants to do. I'm like, what drives me crazy is, like, did y'all see the tweet when Gonzaga lost in men's basketball? And that tweet was like, is Mark Few, should he be fired? And it's
my gosh.
Like, what
have we lost our minds?
Sam Smith has.
Well, we kind of knew that already, but what have you done for me? And I think he's under a lot of unfair heat from their fan base, which is not going to make it better. But anyway,
also, not to pile on, Chris, but like Vandy's in a weird spot where, like, they're pretty competitive and they're good and like multiple sports right now. So them losing in the sport that they've been so good at for so long, this is like foreign territory for Vandy fans.
Yeah. I don't think he's lost it, doesn't know how to coach. I just think he's going to have to go out and be more aggressive in the portal, especially with pitching. I get it, but you're going to have to go out and sign a couple of dudes like Tennessee got, or, fill in the blank, State, Auburn. They loaded up on pitching in the portal and it's going well. And Vanderbilt got 2 arms that are giving them nothing or frankly, we're almost worse than nothing. I'm
telling
you're better off to throw a couple of freshmen, just let them take their lumps at this point.
It's that Billy Bean line in Moneyball with Brad Pitt, adapt or die.
Yeah. I don't think it's as dramatic as that fan base has made it out to be, but there are definitely some pivots he needs to make. So let's talk about the other Magnolia team. I know you had eyes on that series. Good win for Ole Miss, cooling off a red-hot Kentucky team with a series win.
Kentucky had the nation's longest winning streak, believe it or not, coming into this series. David Keith Williams said he believes that Kentucky is the biggest surprise or most positive surprise in the SEC. He says they're currently tied for first in the conference. Is that right?
They are. I'll read you the current teams in first place. There's like 25 of them. Arkansas 4-2, Auburn 4-2, Georgia 4-2, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Texas. Those are all in the first place. They're all 4-2.
Gotcha. Okay, so a nice little log jam there. So this was the Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. I watched a 10 of this series. It really, if you're Ole Miss, like you're just two awful defensive plays in the outfield away from sweeping this series. This was a fun, entertaining series, like definitely back and forth. Look, Kentucky's good, and what makes them good is, their identity. We talk about it all the time. Like, just the way they go about it. Like everybody in the box gets 2 strikes. They do this thing, like looking in the dugout, and they just kind of want to set the tone. And I thought Ole Miss did a nice job of just like responding to that. And it's like Kentucky wants to like set the bait, and they just want you to take it.
Yeah.
So bad, and you just kind of have to ignore it. And I thought Ole Miss did a really good job with that. I thought the pitching was excellent for Ole Miss, this weekend, especially the bullpen. Hooks was great. He gave up the solo shot to Tyler Bell late. Bell tied it. Really, other than that, like Hooks was outstanding.
And that was a really good pitch too.
Yeah, it was. Like Bell just got a really good swing on it. I think for Ole Miss, like the combination of Hunter Elliott and then Rabe in game 1, like those two guys complementing each other well. You got Elliott, the senior, just a veteran lefty, just knows how to pitch. And then you got Rabe, who's like, throwing laser beams up there in the high 90s, and he's a righty. I thought they complemented each other well. Really good series win for Ole Miss. I thought the defense was good for the most part. Like the majority of the errors were on pickoff plays to a base. Like you can somewhat live with that. I thought Randall, this was the best series that he's played maybe in his life. I thought Randall was unbelievable this weekend in all aspects for Ole Miss. So Ole Miss needed this one big because Mississippi State comes to town this coming weekend. So this was monumental for Ole Miss to get this one with Mississippi State coming in. And for Kentucky, like Kentucky's going to be fine. Like they're really good. I don't know how good they are on the mound, especially with their bullpen, but they're going to be in the mix. Like all of their games, I feel, are going to be like this, like super close, tight, competitive, and a swing here or there, ball bounces here or there will depend on the outcome. But I was impressed with Kentucky. Last thing for me, and then I'll turn it over. Like Tyler Bell, his thing when he's at the plate, I've never seen somebody like look back at the pitch clock like most of the time. That have y'all noticed that? Like he stares at the pitch clock, and then when it gets to like 5, he'll turn and look at the pitcher, and then that's when he's like in his stance ready to go. Never seen anybody do anything like that.
I thought your eyes had to be towards the pitcher with 12 seconds left on the clock.
Watch him, Chris. Watch him. I've never seen anybody do it, and like.
But why can't you just throw a pitch at that point? Am I misunderstanding the rule?
No, I think what Graham's saying is I think he makes acknowledgement and then turns back, and then I've only seen it once, and I just maybe thought he was like, I don't know. I'm just happy that he's playing. I'm so tired
I am
of this.
too.
I'm so tired of like these highlight videos of batting practice. So like, look at this prospect. I'm like, let me see him in the field. I know I want him to play. I don't want to see him BP. Let's see him play.
Yeah.
And he finally played.
So can you not throw the ball at that point when he turns around and looks at the pitch clock? I mean, is that a loophole in the rules?
Whoever Kentucky has this coming weekend, like make an effort to watch him. I
will.
See, Lee, to answer your question, yes, you can, but I guess he's playing the guessing game. We'll have to get some video on that. Somebody in our chat's got to have some video on that.
That's weird.
But like after his first 2 at bats, it was like, okay, this is just the thing that he just does.
Totally.
Like it got to the point where the people sitting in the front row in Swayze Field would wave at him every time.
Yeah.
Because it looks like he's just staring back at the fans behind home plate.
That's funny. That's a perfect reaction. Anything else on that one?
I think that's a huge win for Ole Miss because I know David Keith Williams was saying like I wasn't pleased. Kentucky's like that's not a surprise. They are a darn good team. They went to the College World Series recently. So we're not shocked how good they are. I would say OU would be like a surprise. Like they haven't. I think that would be my surprise. But for Ole Miss to win those games, and especially like you said, Graham, a couple routine plays or maybe a little harder plays, drops, they would have swept that series. So that's nothing to, wipe your brow at. But yeah, I think that's big for Mike Bianco and his club. I think he's obviously searching for answers in certain positions. Graham, you've been on that from day one where it said, hey, we have a couple holes out there that are going to cause us some games here. And unfortunately, it reared its head, but you guys were able to, and you guys as an Ole Miss, they were able to weather the storm and get back on it and win 2 at a place, as we said, Kentucky's like quicksand. They'll just wear you out and suck you like a snake, dude. They just bring you in and suffocate you. So, congrats to them for getting 2 wins.
That left field spot is up for grabs. Mike played 3 different people in left field. He's just trying to find an answer.
Nice.
And I think you tweeted it, Dylan. Chris, I don't know if you saw it, but it was atrocious. Those defensive plays in the outfield, routine drop center field leads to run scored, and then just a total whiff in right field. He never touched the ball.
Yeah, it's no bueno.
Okay, I think, let's see, we've hit Alabama, Florida, we've hit Mississippi State, Vanderbilt, we've hit Texas, Auburn, Arkansas, South Carolina, Oklahoma, LSU, Tennessee, Missouri, Ole Miss, Kentucky, which leaves one left, Georgia at A&M. Hey, really, really impressive win for Georgia. We wondered how will that go on the road against an A&M team that was playing really, really well. Well, here's how it went. By my count, Georgia hit 11 home runs and A&M hit 1. Now, the bullpen for Georgia was not good today, but the rest of the staff was terrific against a team that's been scoring a lot of runs. Georgia ended up having, even though it took one today on the chin, I think one of the more meaningful weekends that anybody had probably in the country, not just winning the series, but winning it at A&M the way the Aggies have been playing.
Yeah, I feel like 11 homers in your own barn is never good. Yeah. So, and I watched a couple of those clips, and what's frustrating to me as a catcher would be we have meetings about Trey Phillips. Hey, all week, cannot feed this guy anything in, or it needs to be really far in. And I'm watching clips on Twitter. These balls are down Broadway, and he's not missing them. So compliments to him. And it's I know Michael Early and his staff are like, didn't we talk about this? And then you get out there and he's hitting balls over the scoreboard, and it's we're down 7-0 because we couldn't make an adjustment. So credit to Georgia. I feel like in my lifetime, they haven't been great on the road. But, man, that is a big one. I know that A&M won today. But they hit the long ball, and it's when it's hot, it's hot. So 11 in a row or 11 in that series is they found something to work.
Well, Graham, I don't know that we touched on this in our preview. We may have, but A&M has given up more home runs than any team in the league. Its percentage of hitters. And you know what Georgia does, and boy, do that end up being loud in this series. I think maybe we were both focused on Georgia's been a little bit uneven from game to game. Can't really put together a complete weekend against a good team.
On the road first time.
And then there's just a lot of questions there. And I was leaning very heavily on my opinion of A&M, but I think we probably should have maybe focused a little bit more on that line. And boy, that was the loudest thing of the weekend.
I'm awful at math, so somebody will have to math this math. 25 games for Georgia. They've almost hit 100 home runs.
Man,
that's a lot.
Yes,
that is a lot.
So, look, when I'm wrong, and I was dead wrong on this series. This was Georgia's first time to leave the state of Georgia. Curious to see how they were looking. Boy, that offense, traveled to Bluebell Park. So really, really, really impressed with Georgia this weekend. Now today didn't go their way. Part of that, they know they got the series locked up. And then this was the worst outing of the year for Kenny Ishikawa. Just did not go his way today. But, we're at the point where yes, Georgia looks for real. And if they continue to hit like this, no matter where they play, they are heavily going to be in the mix.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Matt Scott was big out of the bullpen this weekend. Those Stanford transfers continue to be pretty good for them. Ishikawa was not good this weekend, by the way. He started the game that they got crushed in today.
Yes, he did.
So, but foot fracture, maybe that just takes a little time to get used to being back and getting the feel for everything again.
Is it his plant foot? Like, do we know which foot it was?
I don't know. I mean, I can't think it's easier either way, right?
Yeah.
Plant foot, what I would think would be worse, but.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, any parting thoughts before we get some sleep? By the way, are you guys watching this Alabama-Texas Tech basketball game?
What's going on?
Alabama is just destroying Texas Tech at half. I think they're up 25 points.
Good for the Roll Tiders.
Yeah.
The state where Dylan was born and raised.
That's right.
Jim in Arlington asked, did any of us pick Oklahoma to win the series? I think all three of us.
I did.
Did we not? Yeah.
Yeah. You want to review that real quick or no? Are we finishing up?
Hey, if you got them, let's take.
Let's
score.
do it. All right, let's take a look here because Graham did a great job with the graphic. We put this out. Tennessee, Missouri. We all picked Tennessee. Nice work, boys. Florida, Alabama. C. Lee went Bama. Me and GD went Florida.
Dead wrong on that one.
Yeah, me too. I thought Florida's pitching was going to travel.
Never seen the coach look that sad in the dugout like O'Sullivan today.
I told C. Lee's going to strangle somebody too, which is that's got to be awful. We all went 0 on Georgia A&M. We all took A&M. No bueno there. Quickly regained ourselves with Vandy, Mississippi State, all taking Mississippi State. All went 3 for 3 here against Arkansas, USC. We all took the Hogs.
Could have gone the other way though.
Correct.
We did warn you a little bit on that one. I did not know it was going to have the storyline on Saturday morning that it had. But anyway, we thought
I'm sure y'all touched on it, but Arkansas is a legit error away from dropping that series.
Totally.
What a weekend that would have been for South Carolina.
Talk about going from low to high. Yeah.
Jeez. And then the UK Ole Miss, GD and C. Lee took Ole Miss. I took Kentucky and took the L. Everybody's probably happy about that. Texas Auburn. C. Lee and GD took Auburn. I took Texas.
Okay.
So, and then the final and finale, OU versus LSU. We all took OU. Nice work, fellas. Not bad.
Not bad.
Wes, I'm in love with your third baseman, man. That guy was a lot of fun to watch play this weekend.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, let's get some sleep. We'll be back with power rankings probably around 10 in the morning. Again, we apologize for just the irregular schedules this weekend with basketball and just, I mean, I've got all kinds. I'm in the middle of, I've got my son playing on 2 baseball teams at school and for travel, which, by the way, I have a travel tournament next weekend. It is local, so I'll be staying in town. I'm going to have to figure out how to navigate that and Vandy, Tennessee, and this. A daughter had lacrosse Saturday. We played, by speaking of that, okay, we went and watched one game in 35 degrees and then went and watched another in 80 plus. So sat in the stands for that.
Are you going to be one of those parents that buys like one of those portable looking phone booth things? You know what I'm talking about? Or like if it rains, you just like literally sit down in this thing that looks like a phone booth.
I wasn't going to be, but now that you planted the seed, I could be that guy.
Yeah. Get you one.
I think I will not. My daughter would just die of embarrassment if I did that. So we'll probably.
That's the whole reason to do it, Chris. Come on.
Well, yeah, that's true. One of our good friends, her dad bought those big heads. He's probably got one that's 2 feet by 2 feet tall, and so he'll bob it up and down. And he's one of these guys with a real sense of humor. Like he did it exactly because he knew it bugged her. And when he found out how much it bugged her, he went and ordered a 4x4, which he's yet to bring to the game. So he's got one even, over twice as big now. So that's going to be great. He's offered to get them for other kids. I'd be all for getting one for my daughter, who scored a goal this weekend, by the way. They had a blowout. She's usually a defender.
Scoring goals and celebrating birthdays.
Yeah, yeah, they were winning in a blowout. And
yeah, Graham, and they went to Cracker Barrel. Boom.
Right.
Yeah, forgot about the Cracker.
Buddy, it doesn't get much better than that around here. Let me tell you.
What was the order? What'd you get?
What did I get? I got a breakfast skillet. I had a burger.
He's been
Friday
getting that
night.
skillet since he was 15 years old.
They didn't have them then, but anyway, or I might have. But yeah. So we're happy for my daughter. She doesn't usually get to play offense. They said, "Hey, you can go back in. Where would you like to play?" She said, "I'd like to play attack."
What's the name of the team? We're gonna adopt. This is gonna be our official team moving forward.
It's Centennial High School.
And what's the
That's so funny. I literally went to Centennial High School in Georgia.
Yeah, they've got Kansas State's mascot, the the Wildcat logo. Yeah,
purple and
on the hill. No, different colors. More of a kind of a Titans blue.
Okay. So, also, the Titans. How about them changing the logo?
Yeah, that's just saying, hey, we're going to go back to being the Oilers again. We're just going to call them Tennessee. That's what we're doing here.
Pretty much.
So, anyway, yeah, guys, enjoyed it. I got to get some sleep. I know you guys, Graham, man, you definitely need to get some sleep. So, we will be back in the morning. And again, next weekend. We'll be back at it. Don't know when reactions will be. Probably depend on basketball schedules. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a phenomenal rest of your weekend. Again, all kinds of lines, props, things at FanDuel. They're the presenting sponsor of our show. Anyway, for Graham, for Dylan, I'm Chris Lee, the host here at Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel. God bless you. Have a great week ahead. We'll see you again soon.